Are you a woman who is ready to take control of her life and achieve anything she wants? In this podcast, you will find the inspiration and motivation you need to become an empowered and successful woman. Hi, my name is Laura Hearn, and I'm so excited for the new season of the Empowered Modern Woman podcast. This season is for women who are fed up with being held back by society's expectations. We're going to talk about everything from career advice to health and fitness tips to help you live your best life. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to hit subscribe and to tune in every week for each of our new episodes. Hey guys, I'm so excited to have Krystalore here with us today. Krystalore is a great friend of mine. She is an Air Force veteran or almost veteran. By the time this airs, she will be retired. She's also a super badass entrepreneur, fitness hero. Krystalore, thank you so much for taking the time for this chat. How's everything going?
Wow. Thank you. No, it's been great. It's been a whirlwind. I've been on the road for the last month. So my bags are always packed. Happy to be back home in Louisville, Kentucky, and happy to be here with you.
Well, you had one heck of a travel stint to South Florida for 10X, then to Puerto Rico for work, and then to Jacksonville for NFL Cheerleader alumni getting together. It's like you had this busy work month, but all in amazing tropical destinations.
Yes, I designed it that way.
I mean, we all should, shouldn't we? We all should.
If that's what you love.
So thank you again for, chatting with me today and being willing to be open and real. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely adore you. And I know that this conversation is going to give a lot of insight and help provide our listeners with value. Women entrepreneurs who are really striving for that life balance and wanting to understand how to add in fitness, how to be spot on at work or in their business. It's really hard to do that sometimes. And I think our conversation is really going to help those that are looking to really feel confident in themselves. Because that's who you are. And I love you. So let's get into
It's hard. It's hard. It's not easy for sure.
It's not. So let's get into it. So you're about to hit 20 years of military service, or you're there and getting ready to retire. And I know that you have had this amazing military career. You've done so many amazing things and overcome so many things. But when it comes down to it, what's been most important to you when it comes to just that relentless forward motion?
I think the biggest thing is my routine, right? And my non-negotiables every single day. Really honoring that time. So I'm on a mission to help every woman put themselves first for 34 minutes a day. So you may ask 34 minutes, what does that look like? It's 2 minutes of intention setting and goal setting and gratitude in the morning, 30 minutes of movement, and then 2 minutes of reflection in the evening. So when you break it down, that's how I design each day and start each day and end each day, so that it starts with me, it ends with me, and we get to design the whole life that we desire, right? So I just spent the last month in tropical, destinations, because my dream is to be able to travel the world and help so many women and do it from a beach and do it from my phone and be anywhere and be able to impact the world. So I think the biggest thing is non-negotiables, is setting up the day each day so that you're putting yourself first in your health and your wellness, so that you can pour into everyone else and everything else to have the energy to be able to achieve all the goals. So that to me, I think, is the most impactful, just daily non-negotiables.
That's so powerful. Because it's easy to make excuses for yourself. I'm guilty. I think we're all guilty. So I'm today's cloudy. There's always some way that we can make an excuse to not put ourselves first, or not take 2 minutes to be to reset or set up for the whole day. And non-negotiables is something that I've been working on. So ever since Vegas, So when you look at everything, what do you think was the most, like, that big aha moment that changed gears for you so that you could really put those non-negotiables in place to really start living this lifestyle? What was that moment?
Well, first, it was really back in 2005 when I was in the middle of my NFL career, was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, a very rare form, and ended up in a wheelchair for 6 months. Well, they were trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And at that time I was 22. So there, I kind of, I'm a small human. I'm not 5 foot yet. I'm 4'11 3/4. I'm very petite, as you know, and, we met in real life, which was totally awesome. But I really took my health and wellness for granted at that time. I was young. I was, working out all the time. I was dancing. I was practicing. And I wasn't really conscious and cautious about the nutrition and the daily habits that I had. I was running myself ragged. I was in my senior year of my undergrad, going to school all day. Then I would work part-time as a server, and then I would go to practice until 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then I would wake up and do it all over again. Oh, and by the way, it was in Buffalo in the middle of blizzards in the middle of the winter. So I didn't take care of myself, as much. I mean, I thought I was, because I was in great shape, right? And I was constantly on, but that led to a lot of exhaustion. And I was under a lot of stress in my life. I was in a, kind of an abusive relationship at the time. And so I wasn't taking care of my own self boundaries, and standing up for myself and having a voice for myself. So I was just kind of being like corroded and, thrown into this life. And I was very reactive. And so when life hit me and I was in a wheelchair for 6 months, I was taking all kinds of medication. And they tried to kick me out of the military. I couldn't walk. I couldn't even crawl to the kitchen. The kitchen was downstairs. So I had to literally go backwards down the couldn't walk. And I felt very alone. And so in that time period, I did a lot of research on the power of movement, power of nutrition, anti-inflammatory diets, ulterior motives for a holistic approach to health and wellness. And that was kind of the biggest moment where I'm like, all right, I need to take charge of this, because the pill box that I had was bigger than my head.
Oh my goodness.
And I just was like, this can't be my life. And so that was really the biggest moment where I'm like, all right, I'm taking charge. And then I started to build tools, not only in the mindset, because put yourself in a wheelchair for 6 months, I grew sideways. I gained a lot of weight. I was taking injections. I had to have, it was just bad. So I decided I'm taking charge. And so really from there, that was 17 years ago now, I've been building these tools, and I just started to move, and I started to be more intentional. And, that's just kind of gathered a bunch of tools in my toolkit, and that's what I love to help women with.
Every time I hear your story, it just hits me because it's so amazing where you are now from that moment of, being in a wheelchair and not, barely being able to move because of being riddled with the rheumatoid arthritis. And, you're so right. And so many people forget about this. When you can look healthy as all get out, you can look so healthy, but if you're high stress, if you're not fueling yourself correctly, if you are constantly go, 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 you're actually kind of like rotting yourself from the inside out, because you are constantly on the adrenaline of fight or flight. You are putting your body in starvation mode, and you are burning through your stores, and that gets to the fat coating of your nerve endings, and it really can cause true havoc. Even if you look fit and healthy, it's the inside of you that truly, truly matters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I see so many women, and I know we've all been guilty of it too, of letting life get away from us a little bit, where then we start getting stressed out and like, I gotta do all these things. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. right? That's where that non-negotiable 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the evening are so, so important. So as your Air Force career comes to a close, just so exciting. And again, thank you so much for your service, as a military spouse, as a military brat, all of the above. Like, I honor so much of what you've been able to do for our country, but what is it that you really want now? That you don't have, any rules and regulations of the Air Force really holding you back anymore?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is just being true and authentic. And that's to me is freedom, to be authentically me without having to, compartmentalize and, check my feelings at the door and just be all of me. And that's been just really a beautiful exploration. My military, job right now is, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I facilitate sessions, with a foundation of emotional intelligence and bias to be able to help teams and people understand their brain, their triggers, how they navigate life and their relationships to minimize conflict and, to help break down some of the barriers to communication and the success of our team. So I do that, through storytelling, through team dynamics, through I'm called a people strategist because I literally see, group dynamics and people. And so in order to do that, I've had to really take a deep dive into who I am. And I've gone through this almost awakening really, where there were so many years, and this is part of my military career story, which I'm just beginning to tell, is that there were so many years that because of my health issues, I didn't feel like I had a voice. I was an NFL cheerleader. I was a professional dancer. So I was meant to be on stage, look good, polished, perfect, and I didn't have a voice. So for the last 15 years, I was conditioned to show up, be, just right. And now I'm unlocking pieces of myself, my true authentic self. And now I can be that. And that to me, I think is so freeing and so incredible. And I want that so much for so many other women too, because we're like, oh, well, I have kids. I can't have my own hobby. I don't have my own goals because, this has to come first, or, my parents need me right now. So I can't go on vacation, or, there's just so many things that we put in the shadows, and it's like those pieces of us need to come out. And for me, like, that has been so beautiful to explore who is Krystal? Who is she? And what is she here for? And so developing my personal brand, which is now a global brand, I've been building this machine. I have a team. So I'm traveling all over the world. I'm impacting people. I'm sharing my story with no guilt or doubt or shame or blame. It's just, I've been through a lot of stuff and I've only told you 1/100th, right? So I'm just shedding the light on what could be possible for so many women that maybe don't have a voice or can't stand up for themselves or don't feel like they have a community or a support system to be able to even say, hey, I need 30 minutes to myself. And for so long, I didn't do that and I didn't speak up. So for this next step for me is utter freedom. It's freedom of true authenticity. It's financial freedom. It's family freedom. It's travel. It's business. It's fitness. Like, I'm in better shape now. I'm going to be 39 next month. And I'm in better shape now than when I was at 22 at NFL Cheerleader. Like, let's get rid of the excuses of age. Our metabolism has to slow down and we have to start doing things differently because, premenopause, no, like we get to decide. And that to me, I feel is total freedom. And I can't wait for what's next.
Whew. So if I understand you correctly, what you really want is to be able to explore and play in who you really are and being able to share that with the world and help more women unlock that for themselves and being able to accomplish that, which you are already well on your way doing for other women, but you're still, just getting your feet wet for yourself, because a lot of barriers are finally flying away, for lack of a pun. That it's going to make you feel whole again, or finally, rather, because you're not putting this piece of you over here and this piece of you there. Oh, I have duty. Oh, I have to play this role or that role or this role. You're going to be putting all those pieces back together. And it's so beautiful. I'm so honored to be able to be a part of your community and being able to watch you just literally glow up, because that's what you're doing. Every time I see you and talk to you, it's like your glow you've also just been in a tropical place, so I'm sure tan helps the situation, but you just glow and glow and glow every time you find that other piece of that puzzle. Even just from Vegas, it's just been an honor to be a part of your circle. And I guess when you look at all of this that's in front of you, that's still to come, what's, I guess, one of your biggest, oh my goodness, like concerns that you have while you step out of, military service and into all these amazing opportunities that are coming? What are any hesitations or concerns that you still kind of have in the back of your brain?
Great question. So one of the things that kind of came to mind as you were speaking just a couple of seconds ago, even though I was actively listening when I train my clients on, is although I'm piecing all of these things together and it feels free and I feel like I'm just beginning, I know that I don't have to have all the answers right now. And that has been, I think, the biggest lesson for me, kind of hanging one boot up and about to hang up the second one and hang up my uniform for life, right? My identity has changed and is evolving. And for many of us, I feel that we have to have this perfect framework of what that next step has to look like. And I think for me, not knowing what that looks like and being okay with it is uncomfortable, but it's also freeing. And there's been so many times, through my entrepreneurship journey, like I started my business almost 6 years ago now when I transitioned off of active duty for 10 years. So I've been part-time in the military. I've traveled around. My husband's also in the military. So I broke free from that active duty paycheck, 1st and 15th every month, to owning a business and getting part-time income and working through the communication of our budget. So when you think about the money mindset, I've been kind of crafting this new identity for myself, as an entrepreneur, as a military spouse, traveling all over. We've moved 4 times in the last 5 years, just constant, change and evolution and meeting new people. So I'm getting comfortable, getting uncomfortable and not having it all together and not having it be so perfect and have like plan A and B. And, what if this happens? Then, I don't have that anymore. And I think it's just been so awesome because I used to be so regimented and I had plan A and B and a contingency plan and it kind of put me in a corner almost. And now I'm just like, hey, I just hired another team member. I hired someone last week and then someone else came into my life and I hired another one. So I'm literally building a team that feels good, that feels aligned, and who knows where we're going to be going. Like, it's just amazing, the incredible people that I've been able to meet and be able to just evolve. And who knows what, I don't really recognize the girl you met in Vegas. And that was just a couple months ago. Like, imagine what next year is going to be like. And I don't have it all. I mean, yes, I have plans, I have goals, I have milestones. However, it doesn't look like this perfect box anymore. And I've released that. And I think that has been so awesome. So yes, I am, there are obviously hesitations, but it fuels me forward and it excites me rather than keeps me staying stuck anymore, because it used to, like, when it didn't look like it should have been, then I end up in the fetal position. And then it takes a long time to get out.
I like to call it excited scared, right? Where you're like, that this is all uncharted territory, but it's exciting, but they're still like, I don't know what's going to happen. Oh my goodness. I call it excited scared.
I love that.
This is like, I love talking to you. Like, first of all, we could talk forever. And I love everything that you have been doing and what you have planned, all of the retreats you do for women service members and veterans, and the challenges you have. What's the next thing that's coming up? What's your next thing that you're working on? That if anyone is interested in, like, how can they get more involved in what Krystal's doing?
Well, I think the first easiest step is my free 30-day habit tracker challenge. So it helps you design your non-negotiables per day. So you can use your 2 minutes, fill it out, and then you can track your water, track your workouts each day. I send you prompts and cheer you on along the way via email, and then just connect with me on social and just be in my energy, really. I think that's been the most powerful for many people. And then if I speak to you, of course, there's many other ways to work together. I have a group fitness program. I have retreats. I'm doing an in-person tour with VIP days for all of my amazing clients next year. So then I'm going to do like a regional tour all over the States and Spain. I do retreats in Costa Rica. There's so many ways that we can work together, but really just start with those non-negotiables. And so if you go to my website, krystalorecrews.com/habit tracker, that's the easiest way to get started and stay connected, and just, we can go from there.
That's awesome. We'll have that linked, obviously. And this has been so powerful, Krystalore. I really appreciate you and you being open about, your story and what's going on in your brain and in your life. And I am so excited for you and to follow you through your post-military, your real post-military career and journey, really. Because I know you're going literally places, right? We just said that you're literally going to all sorts of amazing places, but you're a change maker. And I've said it a million times, I'm so honored to know you, and everyone should try to know Krystalore, get her habit tracker, follow her on social media. You will not regret it. Even if you're intimidated by the idea that this woman has ran how many marathons now?
25
and
a 50 miler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And an ultra. Yeah. Like an ultra. She is the most sincere, real human being, and please connect with her, reach out to her. You won't regret it. I promise you that. Krystal, thank you so much. And is there anything else that you want to share with us before we kind of wrap this up?
I think really just keep being you, putting yourself first so that you can pour into everyone else. Being uncomfortable is the Cruise Beyond Limits brand. It's not a fad. It's not a fad diet or a quick challenge. It's a lifestyle. And the more you can do that for you, the more everyone else will love you more. So that's my Cruise Beyond Limits brand. And I'm just so honored to be here and be in your community too. So I can't wait to see what's next for us. So
thank you so much, Krystal. What an amazing and impactful interview with Krystalore Crews. Be sure to tune in with Krystalore. She has so many amazing things coming up, from retreats for female veterans and military spouses to her fitness challenge groups and so much more. I am so excited to share her with all of you. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Empowered Modern Women podcast. Again, your host is me, Laura Hearn, and this podcast is for women who are fed up with being held back by society's expectations. We talk about everything from career advice to health and fitness tips to help you live your best life. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe and leave a review. New episodes come out every single week to help you find the inspiration and motivation you need to become empowered and successful. Be sure to follow us on social media at Money Mindset by Laura.